So today we're going to talk about La Santa Muerte, but we're going to talk more about her presence and how you can know La Santa Muerte is around you. So she is one spirit that I can say from experience and from talking to other devotees that she has no problem showing you her presence, right? I always say be careful what you ask for or what you wish for because she has no issue with showing you, like, hey, I'm around. And she's also the kind of spirit you just don't want to challenge. I'm also going to talk a little bit about my experience with her and some things I've experienced as a devotee that let me know that she was around. However, my initial working with Santa Muerte was not very pleasant. It was very hard for me to adjust to her kind of power, her force, in comparison to the other spirits that I work with. She's a little bit more active, I would say, almost like the voodoo, the Loa. They're very active, right? Very active spirits. With my Lawa, I've mentioned in videos before, that they like will walk around your home, like walk around the house. They're very, very present once you start working with them. La Santa Muerte is very much like that. Um, when I first started working with her, it was a very hard bump to get over just because I had other spirits that were more like a main spirit in my life, and she ended up taking that spot completely over, I can say. But also, the manifestation that I initially worked with was a very harsh manifestation for any devotee to work with. I'm going to talk more about the robe colors because you have La Blanca, which is a softer manifestation of her. You have La Roja, which is the red robe. It's a little bit harsh. And Negra, which is also very harsh. And Roja tends to be a lot more catty in her personality, very demanding and expect you to do things. She has high expectations. And it's the same with Negra. Negra doesn't really, she is the scale and the balance. So she's not going to, where Blanca might be a little bit more of a pop on the hand for punishment, Negra will destroy, because if somebody is destroying you, she's going to obliterate that person. Um, but we'll get more into the road colors and everything. But today I'm just gonna talk more about her presence and how you know that La Santa Muerte is around you. Because I did talk about how you know she's calling you. How do you know like her energy is coming to you? I'm gonna talk more about her presence and what it feels like and what it looks like. Because she definitely comes in dreams, right? She is the kind of spirit where if you call on her or invoke her, she will be here and she has no problem showing you she's around. No problem. Um, Although she's not the kind of spirit that you want to challenge or anything like that, be careful what you ask for when you work with her. Also, anything that she blesses you with or gives you, she will take it back. So, I always tell people before you start working with her, just do a lot of research before you jump into it because she's not the kind of spirit you can just start working with. Um, she requires a lot of time, commitment, and also I've even like in dreams you can like marry spirits, right? In voodoo is called mariage loa, and that's when you marry the spirit for blessings and protection. It's the same with La Santa Muerte. Once you build that connection and that pact, it's just kind of one of those things where you just don't, you can't drop it. Like that's just it. Y'all are together, y'all for lifers. Um, However, I'm going to talk about presence. So, lights, right? Which makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure if okay, yeah, this statue, you can see her little light on it, her little lantern. This is actually the first Santa Muerte statue that I received, that I got when I first started working. And now I have huge, ginormous like statues, but this is the first La Santa Muerte statue that I got, Mi Santísima statue, and I did the seven potencias, the seven powers, because I feel like it would be easy for me to understand and work with all the manifestations, rather than just pick out one. I also couldn't pick out one, but one did end up picking out me. And I initially started working with La Roja. But I did initially buy the Seven Potencia statue because I wanted to be able to have availability to work with all of them, um, come the time that I would need to work with every single one individually, depending on what it was that I was doing work for, that I needed to do work for. So Roja was the first one that came out to me. Um, and when I first started working with her, like I said, very harsh manifestation. She's like the chapeadora tia that you have that like smoke cigarettes and drink a liquor bottle, and it's just gonna tell you life is the way it is. Life's a bitch, but you make the best of it that you can, right? Like, you hear only one time, you got one life. Like, you know, live your life the best way that you can, but at the same time, it's a bitch, and just understand that when it fucks you, like, hey, keep it moving. That is the kind of spirit La Santa Muerte is, or La Roja, that manifestation. Um, Very blunt, very to the point, not gonna sugarcoat shit. You ask for something, they'll get it done, and they're just, like, they expect something in return. Like, hey, like, I scratch your back, or I massage your back, just scratch mine a bit. That's the kind of spirit she is. But the lights, right? The little lantern symbolizes something, and she has purpose, right? The light is for her to illuminate and show that she can lead you through the darkness, through dark times, through any negativity that may come. She can lead you and show you the way of positivity and of light again. So she controls lights in the house. There was one time that I actually, when I first started working with her, and I was doing a ritual. I was under heavy, like, witchcraft and attacked from other people, and um, I brought in Negra. So it was two times that I invoked Negra. Or I think, honestly, no, this first time I actually worked with Roja. And I did a ritual, and let me tell you, I was terrified. I did a cleansing ritual to remove, I had like a tranquil spirit that was on me. So I did a ritual to remove it, and I kid you not, I lit the candle for La Santa Muerte. I said my prayers to her. And when I was walking away from the room and making it to my bedroom, I kid you not, all the lights in the house shut off. It was like the circuit shorted, right? And I feel like she was giving me that confirmation, like, you did what needed to be done. You removed the spirit. And I turned, I had to go in my closet. I was shaking and terrified, but I felt somebody was there with me. But I wasn't necessarily scared. I was scared when I was going to get the light, but something was trying to reassure me, like, hey, there's nothing to be scared of. And I had to go in my closet to search for that circuit box to turn back on the lights and stuff. And I did. And I was terrified because as soon as I, like, lit that candle and started walking away, she came in like that. There was another occasion where, same thing. And I do have to say, once you become a practitioner, you will get hit a lot. I don't know if there's other people who, from experience, from what I've seen. I also have mentees. I do like spiritual work, and I teach other people voodoo, how to work with your Loa, how to connect with your Metet, how to connect with La Santa Muerte. Those are majority of the spirits that I teach people to work with, and some other darker spirits. Um, and how you're able to balance it, right? Like, you have to have the light and the dark in your spiritual court, and how you can work with it for your best benefit. So I've had people tell me similar stories, and that's why I know, like, okay, like, I'm not tripping. But once you start getting into this, you will have a lot of people who will be jealous or envious of you, who will hate you for no reason. And I feel like a lot of it is a matter of you, because you're elevating, you're going somewhere, people can see that, and they're evil, they're dark, they're going to try to bring you down. So a lot of people will be put under witchcraft or have witchcraft thrown at them when you work with spirits, or when you start getting deeper into this. However, the second time I invoked Negra, I was easing myself into La Santa Muerte, because when I had got a reading, and I got a reading specifically for her, she was very, like, we did not, like, click instantly. Like, you and some spirits might click, and you, like, have that, like, the love that I have for her today. Like, I love her down. Like, you cannot say anything bad about her. Like, I will fist fight you. But initially, like, I was just scared to work with her, because I heard so much negative stuff. I heard she's very strong. She was scary. I'm not gonna lie. She was scary. Like, her energy was scary to me, because it was like a force. Like, I just couldn't explain it. Such a strong force. And she's just also one of those spirits you hear, like, once you're locked in, like, that's it, but you'll learn to love her so much. And that's the thing. I'm a slow burner, so I don't initially jump into any spiritual work, even voodoo. Voodoo is not something that I jumped into and I was so happy to do it. I was so scared, like, damn, like, y'all, like, my ancestors chose me to do the craziest stuff. Like, y'all chose me to do the darkest stuff. And I think they wanted me to learn to do the dark so that I can lead people to the light and teach them how to do the same, teach them how to work with the spirits. And you don't have to make blood sacrifices. You don't have to do certain things. These spirits will still love you and honor you and be here as long as you're doing the same for them. So I was terrified. So when I knew I had to bring Negra in, I'm like, I'm scared because Negra is such a harsh force. Like, she is. She's very, very harsh, very, very powerful. She just feels like darkness itself. That's the best way that I can like explain it. Just like a very heavy, dark, tall figure. And the crazy part was somebody was actually here, so they got to see it too. So I know I wasn't tripping. But the lights again, and I remember I was doing a ritual. I was doing a reversal. Same thing. Somebody put something on me. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna return back to sender. And the minute I lit the candle and I said my invocation to La Santa Muerte, a picture flew off the wall and the lights in the room everywhere just turned on. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's here. And that person who was here was like their eyes got so big. And I'm like, okay, she's here. And she did her job. Like, she'll let you know she's here. But she controls the lights. You'll notice that lights flickering when she's there, especially if you do a ritual. The lights will get like it will, like like pulsate, like vibrate. You will notice it getting stronger when she's around. Um, when she's happy, like if you get a gift or something for her, she'll definitely come in your dreams. She'll show bubbles in her cups. I've noticed that a lot. If you give her like liquor, she'll drink it. She's the kind of spirit, she's very active. There's times I walk by some ancestor altars and it looks like they might take a sip or something. No. She will eat and she will drink her food. She'll also let you know when she's hungry. One thing I noticed is she'll project images. For example, like she loves conchas, like sweet bread, and she'll reflect the image in my head. Like that's what she wants, and I'll get it for her. And then I'll put it down. I'll do my little prayer, and then I come back, and there's like bubbles inside of her cup. Like she'll let me know that she's happy. But she's the kind of spirit, like I said, very, very active, and very present. Like will let you know that she is present. Um, you might also visually see her. She has no problem, same thing like walking around, to let you know that she's there. She usually, or she can come at any time that she chooses to, because she's just that girl. But at the same time, I will say she does come a lot more. There's a lot more activity during witching hour, during like 12 to 3 o'clock, even sometimes after 3 to like 6. She'll walk around and you'll just see her. The best way I could say, just like see, like physically see, like a tall robed being with a skeletal face, and she'll be walking around. Um, but she'll control the lights. That's how you notice La Santa Muerte is around. She'll control the lights. She might also, give you cravings if she wants something, not just projecting the image, but cravings. And just to let you know, like, hey, like I'm here. I mentioned before the animal thing, like she'll send spiders, or she's associated also with creatures of the night. So you might see like, um, I've also noticed like centipedes, and I've also noticed like anything, so like a bat. You might see a bat or something in the sky. Like she will let you know she's associated with the night. So anything that is nocturnal, you will start noticing an increase of those things once you start working with her. She will very much show you like, hey, I'm here. She has no problem doing that. I also wanted to talk a little bit more, since I have had a few people who, reached out to me wanting to know more about La Santa Muerte or whatever the case is. And I feel like I am very repetitive when I say certain things, because I did mention before, she is just not a spirit that you just pick up and work with overnight. A very beautiful spirit, a very lovely spirit, but she can be very challenging and trying because she has her own personality, right? La Santa Muerte is La Santa Muerte. She is who she is, and she's not going to change. Um, so, with that being said, I always just want to just include a few things. Understand that La Santa Muerte will take precedent. I'm knocking stuff over right now. She would take precedent over any other spirit that you have, okay? So I'm just gonna give a little bit more just general stuff. She's gonna be the main spirit that you work with. It does not matter what other spirits you work with. how long you've been working with other spirits. It doesn't mean that you have to stop working with other spirits, but she will take the front driver's seat of everything. You can still have your ancestor altar, you can still have your bovada, you can still have your altar for your lawaz, you can still have your altar for any other spirits that you work with. Doesn't matter what pantheon they come from. um, she will still take the front. You can still do rituals with them, but she will still take the front. That's it. Um, Also, she requires a lot, right? Um, I'm gonna do another separate video. This will probably be a two-part video on how you can work with her, how you can venerate her. I do have a podcast. It's Mystic Mami Podcast, where I talk more about her feast days. Um, I will talk more about that, but I do try to give just a little bit of education, because it shouldn't be, it's a disclaimer, it's not a warning like you shouldn't work with her, but it's just like, understand like what you're getting yourself into when you start working with her. Like I said, this was my first little Santissima statue. I had my tiny little baby. She was so tiny, and now, mi mamita, she's just, her altar has grown. It's so huge. It's very big. Um, and I just love her I just love her, every little bit, everything. And I feel like she's been wanting me to talk more and educate people more. Um, and I'm getting like goosebumps as I'm saying that, because I honestly, like, I know what stigma comes with me working with La Santa Muerte, and me even talking about it. I know what stigma I have against me. I know how people feel about it. Like, I'm literally working with death. And I know people see that in such a negative light, but there's something that she just keeps telling me, that I need to talk more about it. People need to be educated about it. People need to understand. And we do have devotees out there who talks about it, who talk about her, but I just feel like I'm just one more to add to it, so that people can understand. And this is going to be from a different devotee's perspective, because I do feel like people can be a whole lot positive about it, about working with her, but there's a lot of negatives that come with it as well. Working with La Santa Muerte, and we could talk more about the present, she does bring the dead with her. People who work with her, you tend to end up doing necromancy. Voodoo is a form of necromancy. So you will end up in some kind of, whether it is palomayumbe, whether it is voodoo, African voodoo, Haitian voodoo, Sanse, 21 divisions, you're going to end up doing some form of necromancy. She brings in the dead. There's a reason why La Santa Muerte is calling to you, because she herds the dead. She's very good for controlling them. So if you are a person, I'm the person that tends to get mounted very easily. It's a good and a bad thing, because it can be the fact that the spirits are mounting you, like, to be, you're the vessel, so that they can, ride you, or like, it's called shwal, like you're their shwal. Or it can be negative when there's other spirits, the dead that are walking around mounting you and feeding off of you and being parasites. You have to understand, in this practice, it's always the light and the dark. Santa Muerte is definitely going to bring in a lot of the dark, but she's going to teach you how to control it. She will also teach you how to do manifestation in a different way. She will also teach you so many things that you had no idea even exist. But like I said, it is a disclaimer. It is one of those things where you have to devote yourself to Mami. It is one of those things where you have to understand how deep your love can be. But she's such a miraculous spirit, and such a very complex spirit. And I say that all the time, because her workings have no boundaries. There's times where you might work with your Loa for something specific, or you might work with a specific kind of Loa, because they're capable of doing things, whether it's justice, whether you need something for court, whether you need some money, whether you need something. Night vision, right? You can work with a specific Loa. Santa Martha can do it all, okay? And she'll come to you whenever she's ready. I'm going to talk more about the different manifestations, but recently I had La Niña Violeta, who came to me because I was under psychic attack. I had a psychic block, and she was letting me know in my dream, like, hey, come work with me. Right? Because that's what she's there for. That's literally what she's there for. She's there to help you um, be the best version of yourself, and not in a way that's like fake or phony or anything like that. It's in a way that's like raw and real. But I do have to say, I love Mommy. I love working with her. I love her presence and existence. Was it easy at first? No. So when I see videos and some people are like, I love her so much and everything, it was never all that great with me. It was a lot of like learning lessons that I had to get over. But when it comes to love, self love, healing, she can bring literally money, um, anything. She can literally bring anything into your life. But just remember, if Mommy is blessing you, you bless her because she got you. Like, she got your back. But I always say I'm going to talk about one thing in a video and I don't, but that's fine. Like, if you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. If not, then hey, this video is not for you. But I'm going to talk more about La Santa Muerte. I'm going to talk about how to honor her and venerate her. And then I'll start moving into the robe colors just because she's been wanting me to talk more about that too. So stay tuned for those videos and you'll get some more of me talking about her. And if you want to reach out to me, if you're interested in learning how to work with the Loa, learning to work with La Santa Muerte, um, learning more about magic and necromancy, I do have a Patreon, and that's patreon.com/Kira the Healer. I also have a podcast if you're interested in it. It is Mystic Mommy Podcast. I have a TikTok, and that's cafe underscore con underscore huesos um, on TikTok, and Instagram, Jaguar.Lotus.HealingStudio. I'm going to also be launching a website soon with my spiritual products and also more readings if you're interested. But other than that, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.